Hi, I'm Abby from Abby Smith Colour Education, and I'm also a global top artist with Wella Professionals. Today I'll be showing you my interpretation of the dual blonde trend that's really happening at the moment. To begin the colouring process, I will begin a virgin application global pre-lightening technique. I will begin my application in the back section with Blonde Orplex and 4% with a 1:3 ratio to preserve the structure of the natural mid-band. Once the back section is completed, I then move on to the front sections, where I begin by taking out a front hairline section of 1/2 centimetre, then commencing my application with horizontal sections beginning at the ear and then working horizontally up to the centre parting. Then repeating the process on the other front section, leaving out the front hairline, which will be coloured later. The reason being, the hairline is much finer texture and lighter in depth, so that is why we are colouring it later in the process. To isolate the front panels, I apply a clear sheet to keep the sections separate and ensure a neat application. I then commence my application in the back section with Blonde Orplex and 6% to the root area and the mid-band area, again with fresh lightener. I reapply the Blonde Orplex and 6% to the mid-band area to ensure the most even lift. Once the root area in the back section is completed, I then isolate the back section with a clear sheet. Then commencing my application in the front section by applying on the mid-band area in the front hairline with Blonde Orplex and 4%. The reason why I commence the application now in the front hairline is because the hair structure is much finer and more delicate, so therefore needs less time to lighten and prevent breakage in the front hairline. Before I commence my application in the front panel, firstly, I isolate the other front panel with a clear sheet. I commence my application on the right front panel, working vertical sections, applying my Blonde Orplex and 6% 1:3 ratio to the root area and reapplying over the mid-band. Once the right front panel is completed, I then isolate that section with a clear sheet and commence my root and mid-band application on the left front panel. So the root application is now complete, and as you can see, I have applied a very rich saturation of product. The reason being, Meryl has a lot of hair and I need to make sure she gets a very good saturation to create the most optimum lift. The regrowth was then processed for 30 minutes, and now it is time to commence my application on the golden mid-band area. Once I've completed my application on the golden mid-band with Blonde Orplex and Pastel, I then isolate the back section with a clear sheet to ensure a neat application. I then commence my application in the front panels, beginning on the right side, taking horizontal sections from the ear up to the center parting, making sure to comb my sections before I apply to the golden midband with Blondulplex Pastel 1:3 ratio. Then repeat on the other front panel on the left side to complete the lightening application on the root and the midband area. To commence the sectioning pattern for the creative toning process, I took a center parting and then 2 triangular sections, beginning at the center parting, diagonal back, and then vertically down to the top of the ear, and repeat in the back hairline. I commenced the application of the creative toning technique in the root area of the back section, applying color A. I then commence my hairline application with colour number B, applying to the root area and halfway down the mid-lengths. Once the back hairline is applied, I then start to stretch colour A down the mid-lengths further in the back section. I then begin my application in the front panels with colour B on the root area and again colouring down halfway down the mid-length. Once the front hairline is applied with colour B, I then begin my application of my creative toning technique in the back section using V sections. With the creative technique I'm working with in the back, I'm taking 2 centimeter diagonal straight sections. I then commence my application, melting colour C into colour A on the mid-length area and then merging into colour D on the lengths and ends. When working with such thick sections, I highly recommend to split the section in half to ensure a rich saturation throughout the whole section. I then isolate this section with a clear sheet and begin on my next section. With my next straight 2 centimeter section, I will then colour this section with colour A on the roots, merging into colour B on the ends. On my next straight 2 centimeter section, I will then colour the mid-lengths with colour E, merging into colour F on the lengths and ends. On this section, I apply colour D on the mid-lengths and colour C on the very ends. To complete the application, I apply colour B to the lengths and ends in the remaining top diamond section and the ends of the front hairline. complete the creative toning application, I apply colour B to the lengths and ends in the front hairline panel. I then process the creative toning technique for 20 minutes. Thank you for watching part 1 of my dual blonde tutorial. Stay tuned for part 2, the styling of the dual blonde with Mark van Westerop.